So hey guys, it's Zayat again, and I hope you will forgive me for my continued absences from YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and other locations on the old internet. I moved apartments recently and Comcast was less than stellar, and then my computer had a motherboard failure, and I was very sad. So got the motherboard replaced, and I'm recording this. I'm going to see how it renders. However, as usual, it is not what I want to talk about. I will merely say that instead I am in fact back. My setup is better than ever, and barring YouTube and the Twitch partnership buyout thing not completely ruining the Twitch servers as they are currently, I may be streaming in the near future. Instead, I'm going to talk about Titanfall. More specifically, the DLC that's released recently. Now, I am poor, and so I do not yet have the DLC, nor did I purchase the Season Pass. So I am asking you at the start of this video, is the Expedition DLC and or the Season Pass worth the price of admission? I can swing $10 once, maybe, because the motherboard sort of strapped me for cash. It was not a cheap motherboard by any means of the stretch of the imagination. And so the question becomes, are war games and the other two maps whose names I don't recall, Swampland and something else, are they worth $10? Do they enhance the game enough that you can justify paying $10 for just 3 maps, no new weapons, no new game modes, none of that? Because the thing about Titanfall that's good, don't get me wrong, this is a wonderful, wonderful thing that Titanfall did, is they did absolutely everything they needed to and nothing they didn't. When you look at a game like Call of Duty 4, it's like Titanfall in that it did everything it needed to do and absolutely no more. Now, the Call of Duty formula from Call of Duty 2 worked, but adding sprint, adding customizable kill streaks and custom classes made the first-person shooter genre new again. And then you had World at War, which followed the exact same formula but added something it didn't need to add, but that turned out to be wildly successful, and that was the zombies mode. Now you need zombies. Call of Duty needs a co-op mode. Titanfall doesn't, because it is elegant in its simplicity. So the question then is, are the features of the map design in the Expedition DLC worth the price of admission? Are they worth, therefore, $10? Now, if I'm going by what my friends are saying, War Games is fantastic, Swampland, for what it is fantastic, and the third one, again, fantastic. And I feel like I should at least experience this DLC, and for Titanfall, it's a game I want to support financially. It's a game I want to spend money on if I have money to spend. Thing is, I don't really. And at the risk of repeating myself, I'll instead ask, of the new maps that if you've played them and you're still playing Titanfall because, hey, you're still watching it, which is your favorite? And then, what is your favorite moment? Because I have favorite moments in Titanfall on the core maps, but each of the maps is such that those moments happen pretty much regularly across the board. Is there anything new, any new experiences that are being brought with these new maps? Now, I know Swampland brings this new kind of, it's not so much wall running as it is tree hanging and being a monkey. And War Games is all about the simulation aspect. There's probably some role-playing stuff you could do with that. So those are basically my questions. I want to address those of you who do in fact enjoy Dark Souls content. I am finishing up the editing on the first episode of the final series of Dark Souls 1 playthrough. The thing about it is, I'm going full bore on the editing, or that's incorrect. I am editing this a lot more heavily than I have been, and more specifically, I'm watching it back at the speed you would watch it. Problem is, I have to think about what I would say at those particular points in the editing. What editing can I add that would enhance the experience? So it's a half an hour episode that's taken me 4 or 5 hours so far, and I'm only halfway done. So I'm going to upload it, and I'm going to see what those of you who like the Dark Souls content, do you want me to continue the editing, like that, or do you want me to just put them out and be done with it so I can say I've actually finished a series? Because the editing so far has been pretty simple. It's just cut the deaths, chop the deaths up, the rest of it stays in. As for Dark Souls 2 content, I'm thinking about what kind of build I want to do, or even what I would like to do for content. Now, I have yet to go through New Game Plus with any character. The first character I built, who is absolutely horrible as a character, I went into New Game Plus. I went in and I had no idea what I was doing on level 124. My stats are awful, my weapon selection is terrible, and my armor stat is terrible. Everything about that character is absolutely awful. So I have 2 builds going, and I wondered if there were any builds you guys were looking for to get me to go through New Game Plus. I have a Dex Sunlight Blade build with the Chaos Blade, and I have a Strength build with Hexes and I think it's Great Swords. Between the 2, would you like to see one or the other, or would you like to see something completely different? If so, leave it in the comments below. As for the rest of the games that I would be playing that I asked about in my last video, I will probably get to Mirror's Edge and try to do some fun stuff there. I may do Borderlands 2. I have a college buddy who might be interested in playing that with me. I just don't know how I would do that content-wise. So we're nearing the end of the video, and I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for your patience, those of you that did stick around. I should have more regular content now that I'm set up in my new apartment. The computer's fixed, and I'm all set to go. So I will see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed the music. It's always a good time to put music on these videos, and I will see you next time.